Hi there, my name is Shannon, and I'm Willamette Week's music and visual arts editor. Here today for another episode of Distant Voices with Matt Davidson, who is the co-founder and owner of Botanist in Northwest. Botanist is a bar and is required to shut down during the 2-week COVID freeze that was announced. It's currently against Oregon law to sell cocktails to go, but Botanist has announced that the day before Thanksgiving, it is going to start selling cocktails to go anyways to stay afloat during the pandemic and as sort of civil disobedience. Matt, how's it going? How are you doing today?
Doing pretty well. Not bad for a rainy and stormy Oregon Tuesday. So pretty good for November time.
Glad to hear it. It's been about a week since you publicly announced your civil disobedience protest. Have you heard anything from the OLCC or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, we've had two great conversations with the OLCC, and what I need to preface before this is what's the objective of putting out that we are going to do a protest, and the objective is to have line of sight to cocktails to go, to give our industry something that we can say, hey, it's 2 weeks away, it's 3 weeks away, and so we picked a date that everybody kind of would be thankful for, as well as, it was an achievable target to say, okay, let's see if we can get line of sight to cocktails to go in 2 weeks. And the OLCC immediately responded. We had a good conversation yesterday with the OLCC about what their position is and what our position was. And then we had a very lengthy follow-up call with them today on what their position is, again, what our position is, and how do we avoid a path to mutual destruction. Neither of us really want to go nuclear on each other, and that's unfortunately what they would have to do. They are the ruling body in Oregon that takes the rules and regulations from the state and they enforce them. They make sure that we are in compliance with what the state deems as safe. And so they have let us know that they will have to enforce those laws, which would include losing our liquor license. So it would be a very short-lived protest because if we did, selling liquor without a liquor license is a much bigger deal than selling license with the liquor license and and then just losing it. So it would suck, but yeah, we would contemplate losing our liquor license.
Right. Because my understanding is that in order for the cocktail to go situation to change, it would have to go through the state legislature. Is there any hope of basically it becoming legal before next week?
So right now, there's been a lot of really great work done by we have Orla started it off in March time, and then we have a transition into a couple different organizations. Why their names are escaping me right now, but I just can't seem to get it. And then you've got Rob Nose has been the primary sponsor for the Cocktails to Go bill. I believe it's legislative 833 that they have in the works. But yeah, you are 100% accurate in your statement. Thank you for understanding that. But the general public doesn't seem to understand that. And I think that's one of the things that we really need to get behind, and where we need to push the momentum that we have currently seen through the news media, through the Facebooks, the social media, is pivoting the message away from the OLCC's the bad guy to we need to focus on talking to Kate Brown. We need to focus on getting ourselves in front of the special session and having our constituents and our people call. We need a special session and make that happen. And so I think that's where we really see our movement is, okay, everybody call. Everybody do what they can to get us onto the special session. And if we're able to do that, and Kate Brown says, hey, we're gonna have a special session on the 28th of October or November, you're like, cool. I can handle 3 days, no protest, and then we can all do it legally. And that's really what we're about. Again, line of sight, getting us visibility to a business. If I had to pay an employee an extra 3 weeks or 3 days to stay on, to get ready for cocktails to go, great. But if I had to pay 4 to 6 weeks to keep them on board, and I'm still not certain whether cocktails to go would pass, I have a hard time with that. I mean, we're already financially burdened enough, and not being able to get enough revenue in the wintertime, you can't keep somebody on like that. So that's really what we're about. It's line of sight, and I do think that if enough people call and enough voices are heard, hence the name of your show, we will see a movement.
So if it does happen that there is no special session called before next week, you go forward with this and you do lose your liquor license. What does that mean for the future of Botanist?
Grim. I think the short answer is very grim for Botanist. Robbie and I, that was one thing the OLCC did not state with 100% certainty as to what the penalty would be if we did this. I think it really depends upon how we work with them and the state over the coming week and a couple days that will determine, if we do this, what penalty that will be put upon us. We don't want to break the law, but we also want line of sight for our industry. We want a special session. We want those things to happen. So again, if it doesn't happen on the 25th and it happens on the 28th, we're okay with that. And we can tell the whole Oregon community that, hey, look, we're getting to where we need to be on the 28th. So hold tight for a couple days. But to your question about what happens to Botanist, I probably won't ever have a liquor license again, and neither will my business partner. Yeah.
So you've been talking a lot with the OLCC, but have you heard anything from legislators?
Yeah. We do have somebody who is reaching out to the representative, Mr. Nose, and I believe they have a meeting on Friday, and then they might ask me to join that meeting after them on Friday to have some discussions about where they're currently at. But I think, you said earlier about the special session and in legislative hand, or in Kate Brown's hands. That's what it is. Our main point is, trying to keep people employed. We need, as an industry, to have predictability. We need to be able to plan for our business, and if we're able to get cocktails to go, it allows us to create a plan between now and the springtime, in which we can start opening up our patio services again. So it's mainly just help us be predictable and be able to be a business.